I'd like to welcome everyone to this week's call. We're going to be tackling a powerful topic: self limiting beliefs and how they hold us back from achieving so many things. My goal is to help you break free from some of these mental barriers, to shift your mindset, and take control specifically of your financial future. I think one of the biggest misconceptions people struggle with is the belief that wanting financial success is somehow greedy or wrong. Many of us have been conditioned to think that desiring wealth is selfish or that making money requires sacrificing integrity. But here's the truth: we have been entrusted with a capital investment. Our talents, gifts, ideas, and opportunities are meant to be cultivated, expanded, and used to create value in the world. What you're looking at here is the most expensive Van Gogh painting ever to go on sale. It's called Orchard with Cypresses. Now, what's really remarkable about this painting, its vibrant shades of green, blue, and red, showcasing a fenced orchard with cypress trees in the background, is that this centerpiece sold at an exhibit for $117.2 million. Now, the painter, Vincent van Gogh, had a God given gift, a natural ability. And when he was asked how he originated such beautiful masterpieces, he said, "I dream about my paintings and then I paint my dreams." Now imagine if Van Gogh were alive today, he'd be shocked to learn that one of his paintings sold for over $100 million. Yet during his lifetime, he lived in abject poverty, relying on the generosity of others. He died broke. Now, this is by no means any condescending comment or statement about Van Gogh's work, his character, his life. But the point I'm making is, how often do we undervalue ourselves in the same way? We have this amazing gift, this natural ability, this God given talent, but we hold it inside, or we undervalue its worth. We live with a big idea, with a small mentality, thinking, how many people could we serve? How many needs could be met besides our own, with having an understanding of the tremendous and vast value that our talents, our gifts, our ideas hold. And so today's presentation is about thinking about how your gifts, your talents, once they're unlocked, the tremendous value that they have, not just to you, but to be able to share, just like this beautiful painting, with people all over the world. My point is, your gifts and talents aren't meant to stay with you. They're meant for making impact. That's making a difference. It's meant for service, giving back to others. It's meant for financial fulfillment, meeting your needs, obviously, but then think about it. How meaningful would it be to derive a sense of fulfillment from doing something you love? And then being able to derive an income from that to meet not just your needs and desires and goals, but have the freedom to live life on your own terms. And so, with that, I want to move into a huge roadblock for many people, and hashtag guilty. I've been there. And that is, you have an idea, something you've always wanted to develop. Maybe it's switching careers, starting a business, or learning a new skill. And for a moment, excitement sparks. But then almost instantly, a silent voice creeps in the back of our head and says things like, "Well, you're not smart enough," or "people like you don't succeed at things like this," or "other people are successful because they're just lucky." And just like that, the dream fades, not because it's impossible, but because you've convinced yourself that it is. This is the power of self-limiting beliefs. They don't just hold you back, they make sure that you never even start. And so let's get into what this looks like. 3 areas that self-limiting beliefs impacts. It impacts procrastination, negative self-talk, and fear. And procrastination is what I call, the one-day illusion, the someday Isles, this imaginary bucket destination that everyone's going to, but apparently never gets there. Someday I'll go back to school. Someday I'll start my business. Someday I'll tackle that dream of mine, or what have you. And procrastination often disguises itself as patience or preparation, but in reality, it's fear in disguise. The belief that everything needs to be just right before taking action can lead you to endless overanalyzing and inaction. Then there's negative self talk. This is the inner critic, the imposter syndrome that some people experience. Things like, I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart enough, I'm too young, I'm too old, it's too late. These thoughts aren't facts. They're stories that we've been repeating to ourselves for so long that we've started to believe them. But here's the thing, what if we were to turn it around and instead of thinking about, I can't, turn that around to I can or it will? And then there's fear, fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of uncertainty. What if I fail? What if I look stupid? What if this doesn't work out? Well, fear paralyzes more dreams than failure ever will. You might recall the story from last week of the parable of the man who buried his talent instead of multiplying it. Not because he didn't have the ability, but when asked why he did that, he said, I was afraid. That was his negative self talk. And so, why people stay stuck in self limiting beliefs is past failures. Past failure has a way of defining you, it has a way of teaching you to be quiet, to not speak up. You say in the back of your mind, I tried before and it didn't work, so why bother? And so many people stay trapped in self limiting beliefs because they've tied it somehow as proof that they're not capable. They've, instead of seeing failure as feedback, they see it as a means to stop trying, to reinforce a belief that maybe it just wasn't meant for them. And then there's listening to the wrong voices, whether those voices come from within inside of us or from others. I call it self-imposed filters, the I'm just a filter. I'm just a cashier. I'm just a salesperson. I'm just a delivery driver. Or others imposed, where others, attach and associate labels that maybe you're not good enough, or people from our home or from our part of town, or our upbringing. We don't live. People like us don't do things like that. So it's easy to internalize these doubts as truth. And then there's the comfort zone addiction. And this is where people stay in self limiting beliefs because stepping outside of them is just scary. It's uncomfortable. And the comfort zone is predictable. It doesn't challenge us, it doesn't require risk. And even if we're unhappy, we tell ourselves, well, at least I know what to expect, or this is just how life is. And growth for individuals in this sphere of thinking keeps them struggling, failing, facing the unknown is scarier, and staying stuck seems safer. And so here's the cost of continuing to make this mistake. We put a cap or a lid on our potential. Every time you let self-doubt win, a part of your potential goes untapped. The book you never wrote, the business you never started, the skill you never developed, these all become lost opportunities, not just for you, but sadly for the world. Imagine how many people could be inspired or helped or impacted by your talents. But because fear has held you back, those gifts stay buried. And the worst part is over time, you start believing that you never even had them in the first place. And then the second area is it strains relationships and causes an emotional disconnect. There's an unspoken sense of resentment. Unmet potential affects not just you, but those around you. When you don't believe in yourself, it affects how you show up for others. You may become withdrawn or frustrated or even resentful, feeling stuck while you watch others pursue their dreams. And then this mindset can create distance in relationships, as loved ones may struggle to understand why you're holding yourself back. It can lead to a cycle of negativity where instead of inspiring or uplifting those around you, you unintentionally pull them into your sphere of doubts. And then, not to mention the overall decline, the mental, the emotional, the physical stress and regret, the weight of inaction that causes you to live beneath your potential creates an internal sense of stress, whether you acknowledge it or not. And the frustration of knowing deep down that you're capable of more, but not taking action leads to anxiety. low self-worth, and even depression. And these symptoms, these things manifest itself as fatigue and tension, maybe preoccupation, where you're sitting in a room and you're just not fully present because you're distracted by, you know, debts and bills and things you're thinking about, and you're just not fully present. And so you check out of life altogether. But here's what happens when you experience breakthrough. Wouldn't it be so much nicer to finally break free from the weight of self doubt and self limiting beliefs and step into the life that you were meant to live? I mean, imagine waking up with a sense of purpose, no longer second guessing your abilities, but actually using them. The ideas that you once buried are now coming to life, whether, it's writing that book, launching that business, or pursuing that lifelong passion that you've ignored. And instead of telling yourself maybe one day, you're actually taking steps forward, watching your dreams unfold in real time. And wouldn't it be nice to show up differently in your relationships, to no longer carry the frustration and the regret of untapped potential, but instead to live life fully present and inspiring to be around, to have those deep, meaningful conversations that aren't filled with, I wish I had and if only, and, all of the regret that comes from living in a self limiting mindset. And wouldn't it be nice to just, to feel alive again, to not just exist, but to live, to wake up energized instead of drained, and, you live confidently instead of hesitant, and excited instead of stuck. Imagine what it would feel like to have clarity replacing doubt, and have direction and an unshakable belief that you can and will make an impact. Well, all of this is possible when you break through these self limiting beliefs and you decide to stop sitting on the sidelines and playing the game that you're capable of playing. And so, my question to you today is, are you truly trapped, or have you just convinced yourself that you are? And so, as you think about, as we, put these ideas together, I want you to consider, what is your talent? What is your gift, your opportunity, your idea? So many people walk around with incredible ideas, ideas that could change their lives, their communities, and maybe even the world. But here's the sad reality. Statistics point out that over 90% of people will never realize their dreams or their goals. They'll never bring those ideas to life. And you know why? It all is attributed to a self-limiting mindset. But imagine starting a multi-million dollar business without owning a hotel or a car. It sounds impossible, right? Well, it's not. And two of the most iconic companies, the brands that we use today, prove just that. Airbnb. The idea behind Airbnb didn't begin with a fancy hotel chain. In fact, the company started when founders Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia decided to rent out an air mattress in their living room to help pay the rent. They started with a struggle, but in the midst of that struggle, they came up with an idea. They didn't own a hotel, they didn't have vast resources, just a single property and a clever idea. And what did they do? They came up with a platform that was able to connect people who needed a place to stay with those who were willing to offer their homes and their living rooms and their spaces without having to invest a dime in massive real estate. And today, Airbnb is one of the largest hospitality brands in the world, all from renting out a room and a home without owning a single hotel. It started with an idea. Then there's Uber. Travis Kalanick and Garrett Camp revolutionized the transportation industry by starting a company that didn't even own a single car. And Uber's genius was in creating a platform that connected riders with drivers who had their own cars. So instead of investing millions in vehicles, they tapped into an existing resource, people's personal vehicles. And they created a system whereby anyone could drive and earn money. Uber didn't need to own cars to dominate the transportation market. They simply needed an idea. And so, my point in pointing these examples out is to think outside the box. The ideas that you have inside of your head that you perhaps have ignored can have a huge impact on your future. And so this week, I want you to focus on taking action to create positive change in your life in this arena. And the first challenge is to identify one major limiting belief that you might have been holding on to and reframe that into a more empowering journey or narrative. I'd like you to take some time this week and write it down, to journal one concrete step that you're going to take towards achieving that major milestone. And I want to encourage you to shift your mindset inside our private Facebook community, our Thrive Business Idea Launch System private Facebook community. And this is an opportunity for you to connect with others, to provide valuable insight and support and accountability on your journey. You're going to find that here within our community. And so, as we taxi down the runway, just a few things to keep in mind. I have an upcoming free masterclass that I'll be hosting, and it's designed to help you break through 3 self-limiting beliefs and to be able to take actionable steps toward financial freedom. And as we also do that, I'm also inviting you to join our Monday meetings. It's a standing meeting every Monday at 7 p.m. This is a chance for you to get exclusive access, to provide feedback, to be part of a movement from the ground up, and making that opportunity available to anyone who wishes to take their idea to the next level. And so, with that, as we wrap up, 3 things this community is all about: support, feedback, and exposure. And I'd like for you to engage in our Facebook community thread by introducing yourself. We have posting guidelines that will help to keep our social media feed teeming with inspiration. So, we'd just like to invite you to share your cool insights, participate in this journey, because up ahead, we've got some exciting things planned to help you take your passion and turn it into profit. With that, thank you so much for your time. I wish you an amazing day.